Hey there, my name's Chris Reedus, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit about the Adoro Heritage Heads. My friend Stefan Korth from Adoro Drums in Germany sent me a set of these heads to try out, and I am really pumped. So these are a synthetic calf style head. They're not calf, but they're made to emulate calf, and um, I think they do a better job at capturing the actual calf character and attack than almost any of the other heads that I've tried on the market, like Rebone Fiberskins and Evans Calftone and the um, Aquarian, like American Vintage and Modern Vintage. Those to me still have a kind of a plasticky character to them. This characteristic of any modern style heads. Those sound like that with an added layer of warmth and maybe some high end rolled off. But these, the attack is actually a lot more subtle, and they just having played actual calf heads, these just seem like they are right in that sonic ballpark. Um, the kit I'm playing them on is my vintage WFL New Yorker kit. So it's 22 by 12 bass drum and a 13 by 9 rack tom and a 16 by 16 floor tom. The snare is a also WFL 14 by 6.5 Pioneer. So these are 50s era Ludwig 3-ply poplar mahogany shells. And so golden era vintage drum shells. And this feels to me like these drums would have sounded straight from the factory in that day with real calf heads. So it's very cool to like experience this kit kind of, I guess, like more like it would have originally sounded. And this has been my main studio kit for 3 years now. So I know what these drums do inside and out. And hearing them with these heads on them is such a cool, different perspective because it's like the entire kit is just a more subtle version of itself. And I truly feel like the drums are quieter than they normally are. Like they don't have as much volume headroom, which in some ways you could see as a bad thing. But if you're playing in situations where you want to be able to open up and dig in on the drums a little bit more with an acoustically challenging rim, this head setup is gold. Okay, so just last week, played this kit with these heads and this tuning for a concert at a big performance venue in Austin with over 300 voice choir behind me and an orchestra. So, and, you know, everything was mic'd up. It was a big PA, but it was still very much an acoustic environment more along the lines of a symphony where, I mean, yeah, there's mics involved, but you're still having to be very sensitive and self-mix, you know, based on what's happening on the stage. You can't just rely on the PA to balance you. And so I'm having to be very careful because I'm sitting here and their choir, like a big condenser choir mic, literally like a foot from my head. So I can't play too loud or they're not going to be able to get a good tone from the choir mic. So I'm still having to be very very delicate with how I play. But it was really incredible, like how much I feel like I could still dig in and get out of these drums. Like the tone was so rich and full, but I could just tell that I was able to dig in more than I would have normally with like coated ambassadors or coated emperors, like I'll usually play on this kit. And the tone was just so rich and so full and beautiful, and so I was super stoked. Yeah, so you can hear on the playing examples just how soft and warm the attack is on these drums. It really is like the attack is just rolled off, and there's certainly a lot of high end rolled off on the drums, like in a great way. If you're a recording person, to me, mics aside, when I'm just hearing these drums in the room, it sounds like the difference in hearing something recorded with a condenser mic versus hearing it recorded with a ribbon mic. Like, I feel like I'm hearing these drums through ribbon mics, even which I'm just listening with my ears in the room. So if that gives you a perspective on just how you experience this kit a little bit different. Yeah, really, really subtle highs, lots of rich, warm lows. I feel like the drums actually tune lower to get the same pitches and the same low resonance from these drums. I feel like I would normally have to do something really thick like coated vintage Emperors, but this is a single ply head with all of the nice responsiveness of a single ply head getting those kind of pitches. Like I could not get these low tones with a coated Ambassador. And so, that's always a bit of a sad thing. Like I love the articulation of single ply heads, but I love the lower pitched and like the enhanced low end from a double ply head. But I always want the thick character. But this does both, so that's great. I love it. Anyway, all around, really loving these heads. Highly recommend checking them out. Heritage Heads by Adoro. See you guys.